Let me make sure we're recording, all right? All right. All right, here we are.
Thank you so much for having me too. Appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you for agreeing to be on the program. We appreciate all the great work that you've been doing. And we're happy to offer you a place in our little spotlight in the world over here. Much deserved.
I'm glad. Thank you.
And looking forward to today's program. So as always, we get started on time. We have like about 3 minutes to go. I believe our host is on as well. So just have a couple of minutes, catch up with everybody. How's everybody doing? Who's in the room? I see Andrea. I see Diane. Jumbo.
How you doing?
Doing fantastic.
Great.
Yes, indeed. Let's see Jericho, Brother Jericho. See Paris, Morgan.
Hotep.
Yes, indeed. So we give people some time to log on, but we always get started right on time, 1 o'clock on the dot. So hopefully everybody is ready for a great episode of Bayyinah and Friends. Real quick, who was logged on last week, Thursday, for the special Creta Piro program?
Yes,
Phenomenal.
Fantastic. Yes, that was a very powerful program. And I know a lot of you have been sending me emails looking for the link to the program. So I'll just let you guys know that we're working on a nice edited version to be able to put it out for release. So just be very patient. We're working on it diligently so that everyone can have access to it. But we're going to clean it up a little bit, make it a nice edited version so you guys can enjoy it. All right. But yes, I was happy to be part of that program. Very powerful with all our scholars. My gosh, Dr. Rashidi, Dr. Nobles, Sister Ankobia, international lawyer Ezeli Dantor. I mean, it was amazing. And of course, our resident scholar, Professor Bayyinah Bello. Always a pleasure. All right, everybody, it's 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So as true Haitians, true Africans, we always get started on time. Okay?
Of course.
So my name is Franz de Renencourt Jr., author, publisher with Thoroughbred Books. And today is, April 1st. Today is April 1st, year 2021, the year of collaboration. So this is our actually our second season of Bayyinah and Friends. What happened to my screen? My screen just changed. All right, this is our second season. Welcome to our second season of Bayyinah and Friends. We have a great season ahead for everybody with a lot of special guests. And today we start off with our first guest of the new season. So I'm very excited to present, well, I'll have Professor Bello present our guest, but I will present our host, who is none other than my mentor, my spiritual advisor, my second mom, everything. I'll introduce to you guys, Professor Bayyinah Bello.
Thank you, Franz. Thank you to everyone present. Welcome to everyone. We're very happy to see you. We're particularly happy to all those who have been with us all the many programs and who are here again today. A great welcome to you all. Of course, welcome to my son from Nigeria, who has come to visit us in Haiti, who has visited Fondation Félicité, who has been a great supporter of the work that we do. And we are talking of Yinka Aiyelabowo. So, welcome, son. How are you?
I am great. I am great. Thank you so much for having me. I must say that you have been, since I was in Nigeria, even before I came to America, you have been a mentor of mine, even before I met you. So, you're one of the reasons why I am here today, talking to all of you. So your influence, made me who I am today as well. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, our audience is ready to learn what is this young man all about? This handsome young man. So
Thank you.
I want to know what kind of things do you do? In a Fondation Félicité, we have 3 areas of interest, and that is education, health, and justice. And so they're probably wondering, in what area is he in? So can you tell us a little bit about your work?
Okay, yes, definitely. I would definitely love to. I appreciate everybody for allowing me to be here again. Thank you so much. I am so happy to be in your midst. So currently, I am the CEO of a vitamin company, specifically manufacturing vitamins for Black people. So we manufacture vitamins that caters to the needs of Black people. Like Black people are more deficient in some vitamins, other than others. So we focus just on that. My background, I was a clinical manager in the pharmaceutical industry for almost 10 years, right? So I've worked in that field for a long time. Before that, I was a teacher. I used to teach biology, math, high school field. So I just decided, it's best for me to take what I learned to kind of bring it to my people. Through my experience working in the corporate world, I came into consciousness slowly, like I think from like most people. But I've always felt like it's necessary for us as a people to control our own destiny, to bring whatever knowledge we have in our different fields to bring it to our people. And I just exactly what I did. So currently, as the CEO of Olayinka Vitamins company, we manufacture vegan, non-GMO vitamins for our people. 20% of our profit does go to Black communities around the world. That's part of the reason why I came to Haiti. I've been to Jamaica. I've been from different parts of Africa, Nigeria, Ghana. So we grow every day. So basically in that aspect of what she mentioned, education, we educate people about what we do in Africa, that we're not just like this isolated location in Africa and do not care about the rest of our people in the Caribbean or in America. So when we go to the countries like Caribbean and they see us, like when we went to Jamaica and they see an African brother coming in to invest in them, and they just love it, especially the kids. I love kids. So that's what we believe. I'm a Pan-Africanist. So I believe that investing in our people through education, economics, and different factors, it's imperative. So that's it. I think that's the foundation of exactly what we do.
Thank you. The brother took us right into a vital area of health. And we changed a little bit today how we did today. We went straight into who is here and what he's doing. And now we're going to take our breath as we usually do. We're going to take the time to take 7 deep breaths together. Because even if you have the best food, the best vitamin in your body, if you're not breathing properly, if you're not giving the energy to your circulatory system, to your muscles, to your ligaments, all of this vitamin needs the respiratory system to carry it through. So let's do our weekly exercise. Sit up straight, feet on the ground, hands on the knees, vertebrae real straight, and let's take in the breath, in, hold, and out, out, out. Remember, we take it through the nostrils and we've sent it out through the mouth. We go for number 2. In, 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 hold, and out, 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 out. Some of you forget, we have to take it in and bring it out in the same rhythm, the same speed that we did the taking in. We don't just let it out. We leave it out step by step. Number 3, we go in, 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 hold, and out, 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 out. Relax. Number 4, in, in, hold, relax. Oh, error. Out, 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 out. Relax. We're going to take in this time with a thought. We're going to take our breath thinking we're sending health into our body. We are sending that respiratory system to clean out whatever we don't need there and bring in what we do need. So we're taking it with health, health, health in, okay? In, hold, and out, 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 out. Relax. And again, in, hold, out, 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 out. Relax. And the last one, we take it with prosperity. In, hold, and out, 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 out. Thank you. Very good. So we know breathing is vital. The body does it automatically, but we need to help our body by consciously taking some deep breath every so often. Today, more than ever, we're wearing a mask. The mask is making you go against nature. It's making you breathe in what nature wants you to send out. So it's even more important for us to concentrate and take the time for some conscious breathing. Thank you very much. And before we continue our conversation with my son, Yinka, we're gonna take a quick look at our poem. We don't want to forget that freedom is our purpose. Freedom in every form, every way. And our ancestors have thought about freedom, and we want to embed some of their thoughts about freedom into our own thinking. So you and I, Yinka, are going to read this poem, Freedom. We'll each read a paragraph. So I'll start. Freedom. Our first mistake was that we thought of freedom as a place rather than a continuation of a struggle. Your turn.
Tyranny never sleeps.
Our second mistake was that we thought of freedom as a goal rather than a launching pad from which to reach our goals.
Without purposes, freedom oddly matters.
Our third mistake was that we thought that freedom would make us free. That, however, is license, not freedom at all.
Freedom is being shackled to identity, purpose, and direction, and being in constant pursuit.
Thank you. Thank you, Franz, for putting it up for us. Thank you, Yankee, for reading with us. What does that poem tell you? It was written nearly 5,000 years ago by an Ethiopian philosopher, Amunhotep. So what does it tell you today in 2021?
What tells me is what some of the mistakes that we've made in the past. That freedom is just a destination when it's a constant pursuit of things. Meaning, for us to be free, we also be able to protect our freedom and be able to navigate how the world works and move with the world, because we are surrounded by enemies, and that would not end. And so we have to impact the next generation as to the blueprint of what to do to constantly protect what we have, and to keep also to gain what we have lost as well.
Thank you. Yes, freedom. One of the part I really enjoy every part of it. But today, what I want to stress is the last paragraph. Freedom is being shackled to identity. So if you don't know who you are, you can't even begin step one in pursuing freedom. You have to know who you are, and you have to be, the deeper you are cooked, tied to your identity, clear, conscious about your identity, then the better a warrior you will be, the better a freedom fighter you will be. And they gave us the three elements, two elements that are vital to freedom: purpose and direction. You have to set your goals. You have to know where you're going. Otherwise, when you think you're into freedom, you might discover it's not that at all. If the purpose is foreign to you, then the courage, the strength, the power necessary to accomplish that purpose will not be yours. So you have to be yourself so you can use your own power, your own strength, your own forces. Establish your own purpose and define your direction. Those are the tools for freedom fighters. What particular sentence may have grabbed your attention?
For me, like you mentioned, is identity. I feel that's one of the greatest tasks that we have in our UDD as African people worldwide. We are, due to our lack of education, I say lack of education because I'm sure many of us are educated, but I don't think we are educated correctly. So even in those in Africa, those are the more disengaged from their identity, and that's how your enemies can better dominate you when you're not deeply rooted in who you are. So you definitely start looking around for answers that is already within you. I've seen that growing up all my life, where people look to other groups to solve their problems, and makes it natural. When the truth is that we're normalizing insanity when we can't even solve our own problems, when we cannot be conduits of the guys that we're looking for, when we cannot be when Africans will come to different part of the world and be able to solve their problems, but cannot solve our own. So I do think, just to iterate what you said, just know who you are as an African and being deeply rooted solves a lot of the issues. It becomes an immune system, like you said, immune system against foreign alien ideologies. So I think that's a powerful way to start. Also going back to economics, right? So I believe that a lot of our children, they, come to us, they get educated from, whatever school they go to, and they go around the world to get jobs. I think that once we have the ability that our kids could come back to us to put food on the table, to feed their families, then whatever we say will be more deeply rooted. I think a lot of the issue that we have today in our community stems from us not being able to feed ourselves. As well. So when you can't feed yourself, when somebody else feeds you, you have to cater to their needs. You have to cater to what they think about. So if we're trying to reach out people and we're trying to talk to them, if we cannot give them something to come back to, I believe, it kind of just overemphasizes that context of just not really being, but not having identity. So they don't have identity and they can't feed themselves. So it just kind of creates a catastrophe of being a defeated people in general.
Thank you. You look like a very young person to have all this, you seem to have very clear ideas about a lot of things. Am I right if I'm thinking you are less than 40 years old?
Well, I'm there. I'm going to be 37 actually in about 2 weeks, April 17. So I am blessed. And I feel like my experience has been African raised on the continent till I was 13, and being in America from that age of 13 to now, I should say, gave me that kind of insight, and being around a lot of my Caribbean brothers and sisters, being around my African American brothers and sisters, giving that insight as to how our world is connected, but also separated. So that also makes my experience, makes my sense of perception of the world very unique. And that's why I created this platform, this blueprint for us. With my company, I believe that I didn't start the company specifically, and nobody starts a company to be in poverty or to be poor. I knew it's gonna be successful, but also I needed to feed my people. I needed the currency, whatever's going through the company, to go back to our community. And we're never taught that. Especially Nigeria has most millionaires in the world, extremely rich people, billionaires. They just spend money lavishly. But at the same time, we have people who are deep poverty, not even regular poverty, deep poverty, because we're not educated to be for our community. So I believe that we need to re-educate ourselves and to kind of empower ourselves. Those of us who are in these meetings, who are, I'm sure, we're highly educated, we're highly intelligent. So we need to kind of create, go into these programs where, whatever we have goes back to our people. And with that said, when we do talk to our people, they are more eager, they're more willing to listen, and, to kind of understand where we're coming from.
Thank you. Tell us a little bit how it happened. It was a miracle. One day you say, oh, I want to have a company, and bloop, the company was set up and everything was perfect. Is that the way it went, or?
No, actually, it was a lot of downfalls to that, So what happened was I was trying to figure out, okay, I'm in the pharmaceutical industry. What can I go to say, okay, you know what? I want to start something that will benefit me, but also be able to benefit others. Like, I want to be prosper while I see everybody else prosper. So I have worked in different studies. I've worked in HIV/AIDS, I've worked in cardiovascular, I've worked in breast cancer, ovarian cancer, but I knew those studies would be very difficult, getting other people involved, because you need a special sense of education for that to work. So by understanding vitamins is extremely essential to us, but also I could also get everybody involved. It's easy to educate people on that, on vitamins and why it's so essential, but also because vitamins essentially are not FDA regulated, meaning you don't need to go to school to be able to kind of get into the business. So I figure, you know what, let me go into the vitamin, and it's a $1 billion industry. A lot of money is in the industry. So I figure, let me go into this industry and also get my people involved. So what we do now is, like, we have distributors who are, our people in Caribbean. We have distributors all over Africa who I allow them to start a business with a small fee. So what they do is, like, there will be a service company for their community. So I educate them on how to start an LLC. So they start an LLC for a short fee of $420. They start their own company within their own community, and they serve as a health agency for their community. And so far we have about maybe 80 distributors around the world. So when I first started the company, everybody was telling me, you know what, like, you're gonna make a vitamin company just for Black people, that is not gonna work, but I'm also a very spiritual person. I knew our ancestors was with me, and so far we've been doing great. Within 2 months, we became a 6-figure company, and our people benefit from it. A lot of our people, and also the vitamins also manufactured in very pure and potent, meaning, like, other vitamins are not manufactured for us, in a sense where vitamins sometimes are not made to be potent, because, again, like vitamin D, for example, we need more of, for it to be stronger, we need for it to be more important, because our physiology is different. Our genetic makeup is different as African people. So I basically manufacture vitamins specifically to be more pure, to be more potent, and specific for our people. So I'm very happy to be here. It wasn't like a beginning of a success. I failed, many times before, but I just kept going. So yeah, I am. So I really appreciate for everybody for you having me. I'm really happy to be able to speak.
So if we understand, if I translate correctly what you just said, you had to have vision. You had
Right,
to set up a purpose, a goal. You had to give yourself discipline. You have to apply courage, determination. Even when things didn't look like they were going to work out, you had to keep on the objective that you set and the direction that you have chosen. Uh, your direction is, for example, the fact that you wanted to create a company that right from the start, you want that company to benefit a lot of our people as well as yourself. So then your direction was clear, your purpose was clear, and you went out and very quickly starting seeing some fruits from your
right,
labor.
right.
And as the fruit grows, then you also have a system where it is shared among our folks.
Absolutely right. And I'm sorry, and I feel like for us to have some sense of direction in ourselves, I think we as individuals also need to sit with ourselves. I think it's a battle within self, because you will need to be able to kind of be alone, and be able to understand that even if the world says no, that within you, you know it's yes. Because when I started the company, I was the only one that believed in this vision. Nobody else did, not my family. And even though there was one to support me, but nobody else did. I didn't have anybody around me that really felt like, this would work for sure. I was the only one. And I think if you're not courageous enough to believe in yourself, and be able to understand that you are also a conduit of your ancestors, it'll be difficult to get to that point.
Oh, wait a minute. You're confusing me here. Are you telling me you, the scientist who's into vitamins, the businessman who's dealing with, setting up an enterprise, and then you call on the ancestors? Is that what you're saying?
I believe that is the foundation of anything. I think many times we've been miseducated to believe that everything we have in this world does not derive, that our ancestors have not been doing this. This is not even, does not even scrape the surface of what our ancestors have accomplished. And I think in a spiritual sense, those who work with us understand this all. They know it all. And I feel like, and it's all within us. And if we can tap into that energy, and if we can't be strong enough to believe in ourselves, I do believe there's nothing impossible. I've spoken to many Africans who've seen the problems that we've gone through and just feel like, you know what? It is impossible for us to succeed and to be this great nation because they just cannot see that they've not tapped into within them. I do believe that being no ancestors with me allowed me to kind of see the world in a different format. And I understand that everything that we're doing now, all this science and everything, is all small things compared to their complement of what ancestors can do for us. So I don't see being being a pharmaceutical industry or my education and whatever else I've accomplished as being a big a big thing at all when speaking with when comparing it to my ancestors.
I love that. So you are this young man, this daring young man, doing a lot of pioneering in a field, and I see you with your sword, creating roads, creating ways of doing things, and yet every step you take, you are sure that your ancestors are with you. Do I see it correctly?
Absolutely. Even in times when it seems like I've failed and I've been rejected many times, I've never faltered. And I feel like that's one of the most powerful part of it, because I just don't see, we can't see from the lens of the physical realm. I feel like we normally we move through fear. And I've said, to my colleagues many times that fear is our most natural enemies. And
Absolutely.
yes,
Let me repeat that. Fear is our most natural enemy. So the enemy from within is more dangerous than all
absolutely.
the enemies without.
Right. Right. And I feel that we cannot be afraid of failure. We cannot be afraid of pain. We cannot. I believe that even if I was to fail today, it was the purpose of my ancestors. Like they have a plan for them to say, you know what, you were meant to fail. That's what I believe, and I'm moving that path. You know, and even through failure, I see it as a success. I see it as I'm where I need to be, or I'm being changing direction to where I need to be. So having faith within your ancestors, having faith in yourself. So I'm never afraid of anything. And I don't believe Africans can, because even when I started the company, people would tell me, you know, they will come for you, you know, all this other people are dead, all these things. And I don't believe we can achieve great things as individuals if we are afraid of death. I personally, I know that kind of sounds a bit
Is
extreme to some.
Michael in here saying liberty or death? Is that what you're saying here? Excuse me, did I hear properly?
Well, absolutely. I believe, even because anything that comes from an African stepping out of the mode of being subservient challenges power that be. You know, there's nothing you can do. No matter how much you try to escape mountains, if you want to be a great person as a Black person, as an African in this world, you're going to challenge the power that be, and you know, and you put yourself in a position where you're endangering yourself and possibly endangering people around you. You know, and that is our reality as African people. So it's either we have two choices. It's either we continue to follow this path of being subservience, of being at the bottom and being, you know, and just being servants to these people, or, you know, rising up and making moves that would challenge their power over us.
Mm-hmm. It looks like it's almost a repeat of Kretapio that we're hearing here. You see how we go through, last week, we had a program on the Battle of Kretapio, where in a fort, we had barely 700-800 soldiers and civilians, and they were surrounded, besieged by 12,000 French soldiers, well armed, well fed, well put together, ready for victory. In fact, their general had declared that within the hour we would be crushed. And we spent 20 days fighting with these odds. Less than 700, with no water, no food, run out of ammunition and weapons, with 12,000 well-equipped, able to get more of whatever they needed, more and more. And yet we won. So what our conversation right now is bringing to light is, you know, the Kretapios in our lives are going on every day.
Right.
You have to decide. You're not going to give up. You're going to take on the fight. You're not going to be afraid of death. And you're going to give it your best with your ancestors present in every word and every motion. That's what I'm hearing here. And I'm seeing, you know, it's like we're repeating the same work that we did last week. Except that it's one young man surrounded by the pharmaceutical world, determined that nobody else should go in, should be involved in that. Nobody else should have any part of that money. And our soldier here has found the way to survive and thrive. And we're very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes, I agree with you, Jericho. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, and you know, and that is our life every day. See, that's why we say all the time in this program, do not read our history as some story from way back then that we will recite and be proud. No, we have to recognize every battle our ancestors have lived is in front of us today. And we have to recognize the presence of the past in our present and take the right decision to come out victorious. Remember, one of our aims here is to take our victories, add it to our ancestors' victories. Not sit and talk about, yeah, they did. But the reason we remember what they did is so that in any field we may be in today, we can add our own victories to their victories. And that is the key to progress, to advancement, to success. So, shall we touch on the personal with Bianca? How many children? How many wives?
Well, I don't have any kids right now, and I am single. No wives.
Oh,
Like yeah.
very short here, because somebody's concentrating on accomplishing. And that's correct. That too takes us back to Kretapio, who in Kretapio refused to marry when she was, when her partner wanted to marry and she did not accept. Who remembers? Can someone tell us? No one?
Marie-Jeanne.
All right. Yes. When Louis de la Martinière asked Marie-Jeanne to marry him, she said, we have a nation to build. So we build the nation first, and then we will build our home. So her vision was that we have to first create this independent country. That's where she wants to be, to create her home. And so it looks to us that Yinka is in the same sort of concentrating on getting the collective stuff done or bring to a certain degree before he finds the perfect person to carry the fight with him, because it will not be finished. It will just be the next step. So it will have to be someone who is aligned to certain vision that he has of life, to the way he views our people. I'm going to be a mom. He said, I want to see this person and test this person before my son gets too far.
Of course, absolutely. And I believe that you generally marry your reflection. And a lot of the issues that some people might have in their marriage is that they don't know that, whatever conscious level you are at that time you marry, that's who you marry. You marry yourself. So I believe that once being able to see where I'm going and where I want to be, I tend to see that within whoever I do, decide to choose as a mate, so being able to understand that if I'm not home, they'll be able to kind of carry on whatever legacy that I plan to establish into the world. And two paths, going back to what you mentioned, I want to talk about our ancestors. Our ancestors are with us and here, and I do want people to understand that they is like a teamwork with us. I believe I connected more to my ancestors the less I was afraid. The more you're afraid, they kind of become distant from you. And works happen. I've been in situations where nobody expected me to come out of, where people have been in and they have never come out of. And I mean, growing up, and people don't understand. And now they understand that they saw me when I was young and they was protecting me and they was, bringing me to who I am today. So the less you're afraid, you have to kind of decide within your spirit, with yourself, that you need to let them in. So when you're less afraid, when you know they'll protect you, they will, but they do need your engagement, I believe, for that to happen. And I think the more I open myself up, the more I became fearless, the more I believed in myself, and they believed in me. Yeah.
Excellent. I like the words I'm hearing. The more I became fearless, the more I believe in myself. I hope everyone is taking this in. Yeah? We have to, in our daily life, we're always placed in situations where we have to overcome fear, and we have to do better. We have to become fearless in order to go to the next step. Nothing is given. Everything has to be earned. So we have to continuously be aware of this, be conscious of this, so that we could take the right decisions in whatever situation we may find ourselves. So we are in the vitamin world. Vitamin worlds, there are vitamins and fruits and vegetables and all kinds of foods, right? So why do we need vitamins, supplements?
Yeah, so we don't live in the world of our ancestors where we have all this, natural fruits and everything around us is set up for our benefit. We live in a world where we don't control a lot of our resources. Okay, so even when we have fruits, it becomes very difficult daily for many of us to kind of intake a lot of supplements that we need on a daily basis. And even some of us, if those live in America, those live in Europe, even if you take fruits every day, your fruits are preservatives. They're not, a lot of times, some of the fruits are not even, natural fruits, and that's why you see a lot of people some people that eat fruits and they still get sick, or, some cases. So I believe that now more than ever, vitamins are essential. And I don't believe that certain things that's working against us, science system like the pharmaceutical industry, the education industry, a lot of the industry, they're working against us, but they're not evil by nature. They work against us because we're not in control of it. We're not in control of our destiny. We're not in control of our environment. Our enemies control this institutions. So I believe that we need to start somewhere. We start control what we produce, and being producers is extremely imperative. So having vitamin supplements are extremely essential. And even though our ancestors didn't need to take the supplements, again, as the world evolved, we need to be able to evolve with it. And to be able to evolve with the world, we need to be able to produce what we need for our people and for our children. And I feel this vitamin specific for us is manufactured with our health in mind. A lot of us face a lot of, like, example now, we're facing a pandemic, right? It's just affecting the world. And many of us living in the UK, live in America, even some live in Africa and Caribbean, deficient, especially with vitamin D. And you might ask me, hey, how can we be deficient vitamin D when we have all this wonderful sunlight around us if I'm living in Africa? One is the fact that, our melanin, God bless us with this beautiful skin to protect us from the sun, right? And even though it does protect from the sun, it does restrict our ability to produce vitamin D like other races. So like our ancestors would stay in the sun all day. They would go farming. They will run around the sun. A lot of us don't have that privilege. We have to go into offices. We have so many things. Our lives are not the same as our ancestors. So we are deprived from the staying in the sun as often as our ancestors did. So we live our daily lives, being deficient, and this leads to other illnesses. We get tired. A lot of our men, can't perform well with their women. We have bad eyesight. Our bones have issues. So it's different things and we don't attribute it to deficiency in vitamins. So I want us to educate ourselves. I want us to start. A lot of people, when they start taking our vitamins, they feel alive. They're like, wow, I feel like I've been dead all my life, And I tell them it's because, they don't, sometimes you go to the hospital and they tell you you're fine, but they don't really test vitamin levels in the hospital unless you ask for it. So you could go to the hospital and say you're fine, even though you feel sick, but it's due to your vitamin level intake is terrible. Your immune system is deprived. And going back to what you said about breathing, how important it is. Take Rander's Max actually, makes you more likely to be sick. Why is that? Because you actually breathing in about maybe 70 to 80%, maybe even less of oxygen you're supposed to be taking. And why is oxygen important? Oxygen is important for your immune system, for your organs, for everything to function well. So if you're not breathing in everything you're supposed to be, taking in, it becomes an issue. And then when your body breathes out something, it's because it's a waste. Your body excrete waste in your sweat glands, in your breath. So whenever you breathe in out something, you bring it back in, you bring like somebody drinking their own feces or drinking their own pee, and that's what we're doing. So we need to understand this, and that it makes us more susceptible to actually getting COVID, to getting sick, And on top of that, and if you're deficient, that's a death sentence. So you can see how we're actually being destroyed slowly. And a lot of us will lack knowledge and understanding that we've been, set up for this destruction. Will apply, will subscribe to this agenda unknowingly. And I believe a lot of us right now are dying because of that. So I want to at least start from that from that battle and changed that and has saved as many people as possible.
Right. So we hear a lot to talk about our immune system. What do we need to build and protect our immune system?
Well, there's three components of immune system. So believe it or not, actually, your thoughts actually affect your immune system. So people don't really understand that. They understand, this is proven many times, studies have, studied this. So even though we are at war on a daily basis, we face things on a daily basis in our families, to our children, to our work every day, that, come back to us. And that's why it's important to us to meditate, for us to understand who we are, to understand why we're here. Because whenever you fight for destiny, and whenever you fight for something, you're actually more happier. I believe myself, I'm the happiest person in the world. You actually live in happiness because, one, you have a goal, you have an agenda. And even though you might be in war, you're fighting for something bigger. And then we're all here for a purpose. We're all here because we understand why we're on this earth. And we have a sense of what we need to do as a collective. So I believe that, one, focusing your mind on what you want to do in life helps. Being positive and having faith in yourself helps. I think that helps. It might be, kind of weird, but it does help in terms of building your immune system. That's one. The mental is extremely important. Secondly is the body, right? It's important for you to take a walk a day, work out, take a breath of fresh air on a daily basis. I love the plants that my mother has around her. I have plants around you. Plants are extremely important. Exercise, to go for a run, go for a walk. Even when we come home, I have a nice environment around you of love and somewhere you can go to release whatever stress that you have, right? And third, it's spiritual component. You have to be very grounded in yourself, in your identity, and have a strong belief system. I think all these things might be kind of separate. The immune system is not just a physical entity. All those things, they feed into our system. And this is soldiers. The same way we are all soldiers here. Our immune system are soldiers for us. So we need to feed them. We need to be healthy. And taking our vitamins, making sure they're nourished. So if they're malnourished, if your immune system are not they're deficient in vitamin D and C, all those kind of things, they become weak. So whenever you have intruders in your body, they lack the ability to fight. I had COVID when I was in Ghana, and I didn't. It was nothing, I didn't have any symptoms. I was working out. I had my own gym. I had my own pool. I was working out every day. I didn't feel anything. And when the doctor came to me and tested me that, okay, it's gone, I didn't even realize, that's so, not to say that we won't have problems in terms of, getting a cold or getting any kind of issues, but they will not destroy us, or they will not keep us to a place where we need to go to the hospital or go to ER. Yeah.
Thank you. I like this. So if I understand correctly, everything is from the invisible. We have to work with what is in our minds. That's the first element of protection to our physical immune system. It needs for us to have the right kind of thoughts. Then it needs for us to have the physical expenses that we must, make the movements that the body needs, because life is about flexibility and movement.
Right.
These are the two elements that tells us we see this piece of wood that's being cut down 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It's stiff, it's hard. We can't bend it. We can cut it, but we can't bend it. But if we take a piece of wood that is fresh, there is the possibility of bending it.
Right.
So that shows it has flexibility. It is alive. And the same is true for us. So movement and flexibility are two vital elements. From the respiratory and circulatory, see, those two vital elements in our lives, biological, they move all the time. The respiratory system doesn't stop.
Right. Right.
The circulatory system does not stop. The thinking system does not stop.
Right. Absolutely.
All of this is feeding our immune system. So
Right.
if we put in garbage here, I won't even say what else.
Right.
Okay. And our brother also mentioned, take the time. So that means silence. Create the time for silence to connect to what you don't see, to connect to all the invisible power that is around you. And then he goes into what you eat or what you drink or vitamin supplements. Do you have one that you could show us? Or you have a bottle nearby?
Yes, I do. I do actually. So
If you had a book, we would want to see the label. So we want to see the labels here.
yes. So I have here our vitamin D. Make sure we have in the camera. So we have the wonderful Pan-African flag, which is the unity of all African people, right? Our blood, our land, our resources. So we have the vitamin D. And all these vitamins is a 3-month supply in a bottle. So this is extremely well for us. As you can see, it's manufactured in the USA. It's all certification, went through all GMP, FDA, everything is supplied. So that you're taking something not only extremely powerful for us, but also went through all the testing, went through all the anything necessary, so to make sure that we taking, the great vitamin. So we have vitamin C as well. So we have vitamin C, right? Same contents. So not only that, I added rose hips. So rose hips makes the vitamin C. Vitamin C is extremely essential for our immune system. So our vitamin C, we don't manufacture that in our body. So it's something where it needs to be manufactured through herbs and different things, right? To make sure that to kind of help support our immune system externally. So same concept. We got the Pan-African flag. We got the all certification for all our vitamins, and all our vitamins are non-GMO, vegan. So we have zinc. So zinc is actually very important as well. So these vitamins do other things, but I want us to focus today on immune system because that's what is extremely important today in our pandemic, environment. So zinc is actually being used to treat a lot of this, a lot of treatment, a lot of COVID illnesses. So they use zinc and vitamin C and vitamin D for a lot of COVID patients. So in the hospitals. So that's why it's better for us to create an environment to prevent issues, than to wait till we get sick for us to start now taking steps. So make sure you get your zinc. Zinc's extremely, so same concept, all certifications, and very well made for us. And we have a multivitamins, which I'm gonna send to you, Mom, right? So we have a wonderful multivitamins, very recently manufactured. So we have multivitamins for adults and we have one for kids. So we just made our first one for our babies from 2 years old and up. So we also have distributors all over the world. We have distributors in Europe, those of you that live in UK, live in Sweden, we have distributors that will get you your vitamins as well. So just reach out to me through our website and I could get you the distributor you need. So this is multivitamins, which is good overall. It has vitamin A, B, C, D, E, biotin, everything that you need for your body. So this is essential. So like I mentioned before, and let me show you the kids as well. We have one for the kids. So now the kids love this. So a lot of parents have told me that they have to hide this from their kids because it's a gummy form. So once they give their kids, the kid starts looking for it because it tastes so good. And you have to remind the kids that this is not candies, all right? And also we make it with very low sugar, thinking about diabetes, those of us who are maybe suffering from diabetes. So we have only 3 grams of sugar in this vitamins, in the multivitamins. So it tastes really good. We're extremely low sugar. And again, it's all non-GMO and benefit for us. So, I want us to understand that, it's not just in vitamins. And whatever you do in the world, if you're a social worker, and warfare doesn't necessarily have to do with eventually get to a point of militaristic. Remember, whenever we engage with other groups, whenever we do business, that is warfare. Whenever we deal with issues that pertains to us protecting our family, socially, economically, or even politically, that is warfare. So we deal with this warfare on a daily basis. So I want you to understand that by really just allowing yourself to kind of understand what is going around you and also help your people. you are engaging in warfare, and basically understanding your environment allows you to kind of like protect yourself. And it's whatever you do in your life, whether you're a social worker, whether you're an artist, you kind of take whatever whatever your art form is and help your people, teach your people, allow them to kind of see things that they're not exposed to generally. So this is my field, right? This is what I do. So I'm able to bring it to my people. So I'd love to encourage other people to do the same as well, so.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. See, we don't need to go out and protest. We believe in something, then we should go out and make it happen. That's the real big protest, is when you
Right.
go. Something that somebody's, I say this should not happen. And then younger generation people say, well, yeah, I'm sorry, with all due respect, elder, but this has to be. And then you go about making it happen. And you will find that very often, even the person who first objected to your initiating the change, because people are always opposed to change. The person who objected to initiating the change, once they start seeing it, some people can't imagine.
Right.
They have to see. Once they start seeing it, then they're your biggest supporters. Yeah, go ahead. This
absolutely,
is
absolutely, yes. And that has been the case for me many times as well. A lot of people when I first started, they didn't think it was possible. I first started with one bottle, and now we have about 5. Going to 6. We'll be coming out with sea moss soon. Natural, organic sea moss. For our people. But my thing is this: like, it is not the fact that we are, when somebody's suffering. In my experience, when somebody's suffering, it's not the suffering that's the worst part of life. I feel not understanding why you're suffering and not understanding the dynamics that's creating your suffering is I think is a big issue too. And I think that's one of the biggest problems for a lot of our people, because again, we go through these issues on a daily basis where cops are killing us, where we could barely have a job. And we have all these issues around us, but we don't understand what system is creating and how the system works. But this allows me now to be able to your voice becomes more powerful. Now, whenever you create a system where now you're feeding your people, now you're bringing food on the table. Now, whenever you speak, people are more likely to listen, right? People that might even be your enemies now become your best friends, because they're like, wow, they don't imagine this coming to fruition. And that's been the my reality in so many cases. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And what we're hoping, everything we do, we must have a purpose. What we're hoping is that each one of you, looking at this young man and what he has been doing so far, is inspired to pick up your own purpose and go. Doesn't matter who's saying, oh no, it might not work, blah, blah, blah. Leave them with their doubts. If deep inside of you, you are convinced this is your way, then please don't let anyone stop you. We hope that very soon we will have 5, 6, 10 of Bayyinah and Friends supporters who will be saying, hey, this is what I'm doing this week. After listening to the brother, here's where, here is my field. Here is where I've gone. That's really what we want. We want us to do what we have come on this earth to accomplish our mission, because each one of us has a mission. So trust yourself, get away from the fear, become fearless, and go ahead, do your Kreta Piero, your personal Kreta Piero, because each one of us are in a situation of the Battle of Kreta Piero. Interesting that we have Byron on the here on the, I see Byron, who did a fantastic presentation for Kreta Piero, and we'll take this opportunity to say thank you again. You will see what happened to it before long. Okay, so we're going to stop here. and turn things over to Franz for the next step on our program. Thank you very much, Yanka, but stay with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
That will
Yes.
happen.
All right, thank you, Professor Bello. Thank you, Brother Yinka, man. I'll let you know right now that you have a new customer. I'm gonna order the whole supply, you know, as soon as this is over. So I really appreciate all the knowledge and your efforts in putting this out there. And you're right, I go to the doctor and they test the blood and everything, and I'm always low on vitamin D, right? And they send me to, and then I usually go to like Mom's or GNC, try to find some vitamin D somewhere, but I'm always low. So I'm definitely gonna try out your products and and try to get them in my household consistently for myself, the missus, and the kids. So.
Oh, definitely. I look forward to your review. You know, a lot of people that try it within, let's say 2-3 weeks, they see big difference, you know, in their body. So I look forward to your review and to what you think. So please, you know, let me know. Reach out to me.
Hey, if it gets me those things on your shoulders like that, then yeah, I'm good, man. I'm in.
If I may, you may also have a new business partner in Florida.
Oh man,
I am definitely interested in hearing more about the business side of the venture.
Oh yes, definitely. And we're growing. You know, I was telling you, within 2 months, we became a 6-figure company. And I say this with confidence that, you know, within a year or two, we'll be $1 million company. And my goal is to kind of let this wealth transcend to our people. And you know, all of us should be wealthy. All of us should be living in abundance. And that's my goal in the business aspect of this thing. So.
All right. We're gonna get to the question and answer portion very shortly, but first we're going to have a couple of sponsorship things set up for you guys. So everybody get ready for the Q&A session that's coming up shortly. If you want to raise your hand to ask the brother a question, then you go ahead, you'll pop up in the participant screen, and then we'll choose you for your question and answer session with Professor Bello and Brother Yinka. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Hi, we're waiting on you. We're about to open a Bayyinah Bello official YouTube channel, and we need for you to subscribe. All of you, please subscribe starting now, so you can get all the information on justice, health, education, all wrapped up in our stream. Subscribe now so we can get going.
I started Thoroughbred Books in 2016 because I felt that not enough people were aware of one of the most important events that took place in Black history. Really world history, the Haitian Revolution. Since then, I made it my mission to share the many stories of our heroes and sheroes from Haiti that played major roles in the liberation of Black people worldwide. I'm excited about what the future holds because we are just getting started. Stay tuned. All right. And also, very quickly, I want to let everyone know that this program is also sponsored by Fondation Félicité. You can find them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You just saw the YouTube video for the official Bayyinah Bello YouTube channel, so please subscribe today. You can also get in contact with Fondation Félicité on WhatsApp using that number on your screen, 509-2940-0869. And also visit the Fondation Félicité website. And if you would like to donate to Fondation Félicité, you can do so via PayPal at poufondationfelicite@gmail.com. And also, if you're interested in the Fondation Félicité, published by the Fondation Félicité, Jean-Jacques Dessalines book, which was written by Professor Bayyinah Bello, which gives 21 facts of Jean-Jacques Dessalines. You can order that on PayPal today. It's the French version, and the English version will be available soon. And this is a new segment, a very, very quick segment that we just put together, where Professor Bayyinah Bello would like to spotlight some of her teachers with the group. One of her teachers is this great scholar and historian, Dr. Edward Scobie. So Professor Bello, I don't know if you wanted to mention an experience or anything you would like to share with us with Dr. Edward Scobie?
Certainly. Thank you, Franz. Yes, Professor Scobie was one of the first non-Haitian that I heard talk about Haitian history. And I was terribly impressed. And he is vital, he is key in my focusing on learning more about our history and finding out about the women. So Professor Scobie is from the Dominican island, the island of Dominica. So, you know, St. Lucie and Dominica, these two islands are pretty close together. And so this is where he's from. And he is a masterful Black history person. But me, it was the person who put me on the road to learning about our history in depth, and especially about the women. So I want to officially thank Professor Scobie and invite you to go ahead, because we often have a disconnect between the different generations. So those of you who are looking at me today, I didn't come down from the sky, but I learned from many. So I want to share my teachers with you, so you can also go out and become as profound in the field as you want to. So Edward Scobie is one of those people who formed me. Thank you, Professor Scobie. And thank you to you who will keep the unbroken line going.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Professor Bello. All right, so let us move right into our Q&A session. The brother Yinka gave us a lot to talk about. Like you said, I mean, this is Fondation Félicité principles, one of the founding principles, health. A lot of us, I know, deal with health issues or know family members, friends that deal with health issues. So this is a great opportunity to get whatever questions you may have answered by the good brother Yinka. So, and also if you have questions for Professor Bello as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our Q&A. We have some hands up, and first question goes to Wahid Abdullah. Wahid and Faye, how are you doing?
We're doing fantastic. Thank you so much, Franz. Peace and blessing, Mama Bello, Brother France, and the entire family, and Brother Zinka. I am very thoroughly impressed with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, and it's not more of a question, more of a comment, and I get out of the way for the questions. I'm just overwhelmed at such a young age. You know, we had our elders and ancestors, Dr. Sabi and Dr. Layla Africa, who have passed a transition, and now we have you. So, you know, they passed the baton, and I agree with Mama Bello, the young people, we just need to get out of you guys' way, because you want to do the work. You don't want to gossip and debate and argue. So, you know, I wish you well on your journey, and I hope you do great success and great works around the world with your products.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am so honored to even be associated to those great names. So, well, thank you. It definitely means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Brother Wahid. Appreciate the comment. All right, so next up we have RC. RC, go ahead, unmute yourself and ask a question, please. RC, are you there? RC, it just says RC. All right, RC going once, RC going twice. All right, RC, we'll come back to you. Okay, next we have the Sister Ankobia. Ankobia, go ahead and unmute your line and ask a question, please.
Yes, greetings, family. Greetings to everybody. What a wonderful guest you have today. Absolute breath of fresh air. Absolutely. I am just bowled over by what the brother has presented so far. And I look forward to combing through your website to see how I can get in touch with you guys. And I really do pray that you get to those $1 million figures very, very, very soon.
Amen.
Very soon.
Thank you, Asha.
Yeah, your presentation was just phenomenal.
Thank you.
Thank you. One of the questions I just wanted to ask was, you mentioned about sugar in the products.
Right.
One, is sugar necessary? And then two, you may have touched on it, I may have missed it, I'm not sure. Are your products vegan friendly?
Yes. Our products are vegan friendly, are non-GMO. So you have to understand that look at the ingredients. I'm gonna get to the sugar in a second, but look at the ingredients, same thing as the scientific terms. So we have some ingredients that we have some scientific terminology. Let's say in science, we might say rice powder, right? And then we might call something like maybe beans grinded together as some like learned long, term that, you can't explain. And so those words are, it's vegan, natural. So, but we have to kind of, you could educate yourself in terms of Googling some of the long scientific terms in there, but with the sugar, remember, like we have sugar in our fruits, right? We have sugar cane have sugar. We have sugar in apples. So we have those kind of sugar. We have a natural sugar, but we follow FDA regulations in terms of how we kind of present this, our products. So we do have to say sugar. We can't say, sugar cane sugar or apple sugar or natural sugar. We have to kind of state it as sugar. So that's what I mean when I say sugar. But even that sugar, too much of it can be harmful. Like if you eat too much sugar cane, that can be harmful as well. So, we do limit it to only 3 grams of sugar for our people.
Okay, and you're talking about natural sugar, not white sugar.
No, it's not. No, white sugar. I mean, for us to be able to kind of put that stamp as, as non-GMO, we do have to follow those regulations as well. So yes, it's all natural sugar.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope to hear more from you. That whole interaction you had with Mama Bello, I don't know if you have an IG page or anything, but I would love to hear more of that from you. If you've got an IG page, please put the link up in the chat so we can go onto your IG page. I would love to hear more of those sorts of reasonings from you, man. Your mind it's a beautiful mind. The way you think, it's beautiful. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you so much. I am so flattered. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay,
I do have an IG page, so I'm gonna put it up. Okay, I think somebody put it up for me. It's Olayinka.products.
Yes.
Yeah. Olayinka.products. So that's my page. I even though it's not just a page to sell vitamins, I do enact some education and and it's very purposeful, in terms of uniting all African people together. Not only do I touch base on some knowledge that I've gained from my mother, Bello, but also enact some of my experiences being in Africa, some perspective from also being on the continent and why we're so separated. And and so why that needs to change. So I feel like when people from different parts of the world understand where we come from and why some Africans might be misplaced or they might think a little bit different, I think that connection really starts to form amongst us.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, my brother, and I wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Peace. Bye.
Thank you, Ankovia. Thank you, sister. And just to be clear, not all of your vitamins have sugar in it. It was just the kids multivitamin. Is that correct?
Yes. Not all no, it's just the multivitamins. Because remember, these vitamins are like my other vitamins are gummy form. So
Right.
in terms of to kind of put the compounds together, it does require some form of sugar in it. And and again, once you taste it, it doesn't taste like it has excessive sugar. Again, it's only 3 grams per bottle. So it's very low in sugar, but all my other vitamins definitely do not have sugar in them.
Thank you for the clarification, Franz. Thank you.
No problem, sister. Okay, all right, let's go back to RC. RC, go ahead and unmute, and you can ask your question, please.
Yes, hi. Morning, everybody. I had a quick question. It was 2 parts, but the first part of the question is, when you were working for, I think you said you're working for the pharmaceutical industry, is that correct?
Yes.
When you were working there, what in that field made you want to go into vitamins? Were you working with something related to it, or what made you want to go into that particular field? And the second part of the question is, I've been looking for a lot of information for the differences between the vitamins that Black people require compared to everybody else, well, specifically for Black people, because I know they're different, and I know there's a lot more than vitamin D and vitamin and iron, maybe, because those are the 2 that are prominently out there being said that we need more of. But
Right.
I know there's way more than that, but I cannot find the research at all. It's like it's hidden somewhere. And I remember reading an article specifically, I think it was from either Harvard or one of those colleges, and they were saying that we have found that, there are a lot of differences, but they will not release them to the public. And I found that to be very interesting, but that's all I know about that.
Yeah. And because they need to keep that narrative that we all the same. Whereas if you have a pint of blood that comes out of your body, genetics can tell right away if you're Black or European or Asian, and let's say all your flesh was gone from your bones and just your bones remain, they could tell if you're Black alone just by your looking at your bones. So obviously we're not the same in any form. So our medicines cannot be the same. So what we take in our bodies cannot be the same. So many times when our people go and buy Nature Made and buy all this products, they're made for them. So that's why it takes months for many of us to even feel any kind of sense of effects. When we go to this convenience store and we buy GNC and we buy all these products, we don't feel any different. But we think, we hopefully think, it will do something for us, but it might, but it takes a longer period of time. Whereas my vitamin is very effective in a very short period of time. And, we have hundreds of testimony to confirm this. But just not to run away from what you was mentioning, but just to go to your first question. Again, I built this blueprint 5 to 6 years ago. So one of the reasons why I went to vitamins is, one, because I needed to build wealth amongst my people. My focus, again, for those of you who might be thinking about starting a business, if you focus on money, you will fail. You have to focus on a goal and agenda that is beyond yourself. And I promise you, everything follows. I don't think we're in existence to chase things. I think we're in existence to attract things. And we attract things by following our purpose and following why we're on earth. I believe that money is a spiritual entity. Wealth and all freedom is a spiritual entity, but you have to do the work. You have to be able to put yourself in a position where these things can come after you, can come to you. So what I've done is that I understand that vitamins is something where people can easily educate themselves on. Let's say if I started a product on cancer, you have to read many, many books to even understand, to even scratch the surface. And we don't have patience for that. We have a lot of things going on in our lives, and we have time for that. So that's one. I know I can easily educate our people on vitamins, right? And obviously it's essential to us. Secondly, I could create a business model around vitamin, meaning like, because vitamin essentially is not FDA regulated. That's why you go to any vitamin store, you will see FDA stamp on their bottle, just like I did on mine, right? But I just took the extra step, right? Because I want my people to get the best, right? So it's not FDA regulated, meaning like, so that means anybody can get into the business. We just don't know it, because they don't want you to know that, because they don't want you to tap into that industry. So I was able to create a business model around vitamin, meaning to create distributors around the world, right? So that's secondly. And thirdly, our people need it more than ever, right? We need it more so than any other group, right? Because other groups might be vitamin deficient, but we're not educated, because they need to, like you mentioned, they need to keep that that agenda that we all the same people, we all need one thing together, and we are the human race, whereas in many forms, the African is different, it's very different in so many forms. So we need to get something that caters to us, right? So I think this company also challenges that narrative that we are the same with everybody else, when that's not true. I think what we the Black people need right now, going back to your second question, hopefully I answered your first question, but so creating those three models is imperative for me to, I couldn't do it in any other, I couldn't facilitate that with any other drugs. I couldn't do it with migraine drugs. I couldn't do it with cardiovascular or HIV AIDS. It would be very difficult for me to create a business model and bring people on board and create wealth, amongst our people worldwide, utilizing any of those other, issues. But I know vitamins it would be very easy to essentially create wealth. I think the economic program was the most important aspect for me in starting this business. So thirdly, you mentioned something about doing research and finding vitamins that is essentially for Black people. So you touched base on iron, which is extremely important. We are going to manufacture that. We're actually in the process of doing that, in the very near future. But one is like, I said earlier in the meeting, we need D, right? Because our body, because we have black skin, our black skin is a blessing from God, right? It protects us from the negative UV rays. So I'm going to repeat that just real quick, so you have a quick understanding of how it works. So we don't get vitamin D from the sun as the way people think. The sun doesn't bring vitamin D and put it in our body, right? Our body, vitamin D is actually a hormone. Our body creates vitamin D based on a reaction of the sun. So when the sun touches your skin, your body quickly starts to react. Your blood cells, your immune system, everything comes together and starts to manufacture this vitamin D, right? I mean, not the immune system, but your body cells, essentially. So what happens, like, there's different types of rays the sun produces. So we need that particular type of rays for it to reach the body and for body to start manufacturing this vitamin D. So now, because you have a beautiful black skin that protects you from the harmful rays of the sun, it doesn't touch the essential cells that needs to create the vitamin as efficiently as other races, right? So that's why everybody in the United States is deficient. It doesn't matter who you are, everybody in the United States is deficient. Every Black person in the United States is deficient because you're not getting enough sunlight. Even if you live in the Caribbean, you're deficient unless you stay in the sun at least hours at a time during the day, right? So a lot of people in the Caribbean, in Africa, are deficient as well. So vitamin C is also necessary for Black people for immune health, like we mentioned to the show, that we don't manufacture that in the body like vitamin D, right? We need to kind of create that. So vitamin C is manufactured using herbs, So my ancestors use herbs to kind of like make the body strong, So perceive vitamin C as that, right? So we need that to be manufactured outside and to take that in. So we need that. A lot of people are sick many times because they don't have that compound, vitamin C, in their body to boost the immune system. And zinc is extremely essential. Like even now, with a lot of patients, like I mentioned earlier, are treated with zinc, right? To kind of get over the COVID-19 issues or all the issues as well. So I think I have all the vitamins, most of them, and our multivitamins has all the essential vitamins, I think, for Black people as well. So except for iron, I think we have all the vitamins right now that is necessary for a Black body to be in optimal shape and health. But the iron should be coming very, very soon, So I usually take my time because, again, when I produce something, I feel whatever I produce is a reflection of me. So I always try to make sure that anything that goes into my vitamins are the best of the best. So getting the ingredients right, getting the compounds right, making sure it's all natural and non-GMO for our people, it's essential. So that's why I take about a month or two to kind of create new vitamins at a time. So I hope I answered all your questions though.
Yes. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. This is great information, man. And yeah, hopefully that answered your question, RC, or your 3 questions, RC. So thanks for taking the time to answer those, Brother Yinka. All right. So next we have Brother Paris Nelson. Paris, go ahead and unmute yourself. Ask a question, please.
Yes, Hotep. So this is a kind of a more generic question for the brother Yinka and our living ancestor, Professor Bayyinah Bello. So I was wanted to ask if you're willing to share what was the crucial turning point, or like the pinnacle, what actually brought you lot into consciousness?
I wouldn't say there's a point. I would say in general, what brings us to consciousness is usually very painful experiences in our life. Very sometimes traumatic experiences. Consciousness is never something that it's nice things. Nice things generally don't bring things to consciousness. I think we have to kind of understand that pain works hand in hand. You know, it's a tool of the ancestors sometimes to kind of bring forth what is hidden within us. I do believe, like, and being able to kind of perceive things. I mentioned earlier before that it's different when you're going through struggle. That it's different when you understand why you're going through it and what's creating the struggle. So a lot of us for many, many centuries or hundreds of years, we've gone through a lot, but we don't understand the essential components that's creating us for us. So I think like being able to put one or two together and being able to understand that, okay, this is why I am in this position. And this is why, as an African, I am in a very subservient position. Why I have to go to a European, I have to go to an Arab, I have to go to an Indian for work. And why my families and my people are suffering. And this is why we are what we are, kind of creates enlightenment, insight to the world that we normally wouldn't see if we just reacting to our current pain. Like we react to current pain by protesting and by just being angry, right? It's okay too to feel something, it's nothing bad, but understanding why how everything works, like a spider web, understanding why how everything connects is extremely essential to consciousness. So going back to your point, it's not one thing, but I do feel like pain is necessary to bring forth a level of consciousness. So I feel utilizing our pain, utilizing our struggle, utilizing the pain of our children, the pain of our parents, the pain of our ancestors, to kind of bring us to where we are is essential. But it also takes the blessing of our ancestors too. Sometimes you have to be chosen, And I feel like all of us are here because we're chosen. You're here because something tells you to invest your time and invest your money, invest your, wherever you have to be in this collective. So I do believe that we are chosen people, and slowly, but I'm not gonna be who I am in 10 years from now. In 10 years from now, I'll probably be somebody else. But we all growing in that consciousness. So I hope that kind of answered your question. I didn't want to.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for the question, Paris. And I agree with you 100%, Yinka. It does come, usually you're pushed into consciousness by some type of traumatic event, and then you try to find your place or like your place in this whole experience, like how you're going to make everything around you better. What's your part that you have to play? And then that's when you kind of like go into yourself. And then that's where you truly kind of like, you have that soul searching process and search for your contribution. So I was in that space, so, and that's how I came to be here, in front of you as well. So, so definitely I can relate to you. All right, so we have questions from the chat. So from Sister Marguerite Lathan, actually 2 questions. First question is, what is the difference between vitamins and supplements? And then also the question is, are you related to the actress Deborah Olayinka Aiyelabowo. I'm not sure if I said that.
No, I'm not related to her, you know, but well, thank you for that. See, she's a very beautiful woman and amazing. So thank you. But no, I'm not related. So what was the first question? I'm sorry. You said, what is the difference between vitamins and supplements?
Yes.
So remember, like a lot of the words have legality when it comes to the pharmaceutical industry. So it's important. A lot of times when we, you know, they have wordplay in there due to legal entities and things like that. So vitamins is not separated from supplements. So supplements are supportive, you know, supportive. They're considered food instead of drugs. They're not really considered drugs, because if they were considered drugs, you know, I wouldn't be able to have distributors. I wouldn't be able to have a fellow, you know, my neighbor, whoever is selling it, right? Because so now it's considered food. That's why I can ship it to anybody that might need it, right? I can easily sell it. You can easily buy it from anybody, right? Because it's not considered drugs. So supplements are just compounds utilized to support your body to heal itself. So they're not drugs, right? They're not like the same way you perceive Tylenol. That's, you know, I have a headache, let me take Tylenol and heal myself. No, that doesn't work that way. So what supplements or vitamins essentially do is they work with your body like a teammate. They put your immune system in a position of power so that if it was to have any kind of issues, your body would essentially heal itself. So basically it's a theory that your body's healing itself, and it's a supportive, that's what they call it, supplements, right? It's to support your body into getting your body to optimal shape. And that should always be. We shouldn't be relying on Advils and Tylenol for cure. Our body naturally should be in a position to cure itself, because that's how God made our body, essentially to fight illnesses and to cure itself. So nowadays they're making it seem like having an immune system to cure your body, it's you know, it's a bad thing when that's the way nature made us. So it's going back to that. So basically what I bring is basically helping your body to be strong and powerful, pretty much.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go back to the hands. Okay, we have, the questions are racking up, man. I hope that you might need a sip of water. Real quick. All right, next question comes from the brother Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, go ahead, unmute, ask a question, please.
Yes, brother Yenka. My question is, I heard everything you was talking about as far as health and the herbs and the natural supplements. The question I want to ask you, like way back in the days, I was hearing by one of my teachers in high school that the reason why black people appear to be more muscular than white people, and then people from other races, is because of what black people eat. And then that same teacher told me that, like, if white girls, if they eat more and they eat the same thing black people eat, their bodies will their body would appear just like black girls' bodies. Is that true or not? That's what I heard.
I understand. Were you heard at a comedy show? No, but I'm just kidding. But no. That's definitely not the case, brother. We are unique people. We are the first and the only form of humans on Earth. You know, we are the beginning and we are the end. Nobody can be like us on this earth, no matter what food they eat. We are not what we are because of food. Food are like vitamins that support what we are. They're supportive systems. Food is medicine. Food are like medicine. Vitamins are, they'll support what we are. So what we are, it's in our blood, it's in our DNA. So it's like that cannot be replicated or that cannot be changed because of somebody else can't take it because of what they eat. So now I would say this: many times we get sick because we don't eat the food of our ancestors, right? Many times we get sick because we eat westernized food. Essentially, not saying you get sick by eating Western food, no, but if you eat it all the time, right? So food also, like, they're also in our DNA. right? What your ancestors eat is in your DNA. So there was a study, I forgot what university, that had that was feeding Africans in America West African food, right? And this was people that had history of diabetes, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease in their families. And the study showed that these people actually didn't develop those illnesses, unlike their parents and their grandparents, right? Because again, food again becomes is ingrained in us. It's not just about eating and being full. You have to understand that this thing goes in our cells. It goes in our bloodstream. So any other race does not have an African genetic makeup, right? A westernized eating African food, it will not do anything to them. It's not even good for them to eat African food all the time because it's not connected to their DNA. It's not part of DNA. It will be good for you as African to eat African food because it's part of DNA. So you have to understand that food is also very cultural. Cool food is traditional, and food is very, there's a science involved in it. So it's not just about food. Is not just something that you just eat just because you're hungry. Food's a medicine. It's the greatest medicine that we have for our body, I believe. So somebody eating food cannot, eating African food cannot become like an African. That is impossible. African is big and muscular and big boned and strong and fast and all of these great things because he's an African. It's just simple as that. Not because of the food they eat. And you have to understand that Africans are diverse. Like myself, I'm West African. So, some West African muscular. I'm 6'1". I'm kind of muscular, I'm big boned. But they have other the East African are slimmer, right? That's why you see them marathon, right? They run long distance. West Africans, like Jamaicans, like our Jamaican brothers and sisters, like Asian brothers and sisters, they're fast, right? They're fast, but they're not essentially as long distance as our East Africans. So we are very different. They have South Africans, they have North Africa. So our body is different based on the region, based on where we are. Even our cultures are different. So many times we've been conditioned to perceive Africa as this one place when we have the most diverse genetic makeup than any other race on the planet. No other race has the kind of genetic makeup as Africans in terms of its diversity. So understanding, like we mentioned earlier, understanding your identity is extremely essential because if you don't know who you are and where you come from, and to the genetic level, understanding, what you're made of, and being proud of that. Anybody can just tell you anything. It's like a tree that's not rooted. When you're not rooted in yourself, any wind can come by and blow you away. So that's why we have in many Western world because we're not rooted in ourselves. So if somebody can just come with different ideologies and you buy into it, you even question. Like for me, if somebody was to tell me the same thing, I wouldn't even pay any mind. So you have to understand that food is also not just about, it doesn't make us Africans. We are Africans because, we are the first, right? So I hope that answered your question. I know that was a joke. I mean, but I hope that answered your question. And know that we are very wonderfully made. We're very beautiful people, and we're the first machines of the universe. And we are naturally the reflection of the universe. Where even when they have ships, like the spaceship that goes up in the sky, that goes up in space, do you know that they cover it with melanin that we create naturally, right? But they have to kind of manufacture a synthetic melanin to cover the spaceships, so the spaceship not to blow up in the sky, in space. So we are wonderfully blessed, and no other race can be like us or even be close to us due to food or anything else. So I hope that answers your question.
Second question.
No, Fritz. Nah, you don't get it. Next time.
Okay.
We'll get back to you at the end. There's a long line. All right. But thanks for your question. All right. Next question comes from April. April, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask a question, please.
Yes, I had a question referring to the business aspect of how do you get into the training part you were speaking about.
Okay, so what is pretty much simple. So what I do is I sell my vitamins to my distributors at price, right? And then they basically in turn sell it to their community in the same price as they would get it, in my website. So people are not, by the community are not getting shortchanged or anything like that. Everybody's getting the same price as they would, in the website or with the business. But what the distributors getting is they're getting the cut from the differences, meaning like you get it from me in a super cheap price and basically half price, and you get your income would come from the differences you sell to your people around your community. And the second benefit is that anybody in your region would get the product faster than they would get it from my website. So let's say you live in UK, right? So now sometimes shipping to UK is extremely expensive for us, some of our people. So let's say you're a distributor in UK or in Colorado, you will be able to serve your community in Colorado or UK, and they're able to get the product, the vitamins a lot faster, and you get the best service, right? So it benefits me and the company, and it benefits you as well. So through that, we create a business model where basically we become the house of the vitamins, and you have your own company of actually being a distributor. So what we do is like, once you become a distributor, and and the minimum to be a distributor, you have to get 30 vitamins. The 30 bottles is the minimum. So once you become a distributor, you go through a training process where we do train you on how to market and how to educate your people on these vitamins, and you're free to kind of, we have Zoom meetings like this, and where we have meetings where you're free to ask any questions or anything like that, and we guide you through that. And third, we also have a WhatsApp group where we support each other. So a lot of times, a lot of our distributors are new in business. We utilize this to educate our people on business. Like some of us who are afraid of starting a business and they don't know how to start. So we educate our people on how to start this business. So this kind of like, pushes our people to start it. And we have a WhatsApp group where each person supports each other. Like we have a person in UK, Nigeria, Dubai, we have in Tanzania, we have in South Africa. So whatever experiences you might go through, whatever problem you might go through, you have a group that will support you and basically help you through that.
Awesome. All right. Do you have that information on your website as well, the business aspect of it?
Well, that information goes through me specifically because I'm very particular about who becomes a distributor as well. So I would like for it to be our people, exclusively. So I couldn't specifically put down the website, let's say. So I generally just, where should we go on my Instagram or go on the website and contact me? And then, I'll basically to guide everyone through that process that interested.
All right, even better. So definitely get in contact with the brother directly through his Instagram, email. I believe you have somebody in the chat room that's replying to everything.
Yeah.
So you came prepared.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm sure we have some of our distributors also here, so they're very excited about this as well. So, we are like a family, we are a family, and we want that wealth to be, amongst all of us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Spread love.
Yeah.
All right. I do have another question that came in from the chat room that I want to ask very quickly. Let's see. Where we where was okay, here he is. All right, so our ancestor, this is from Charlene Anin. Our ancestor, Dr. Sebi, spoke of minerals. Does our body need more vitamins or minerals? And are minerals in your products? What are your findings on minerals?
Yeah, so vitamins are essentially what that is. The minerals, the compound minerals that is compounded together for the needs of our body. So we're basically saying the same thing, but remember, you have to understand the wordings, the scientific wordings, and not just scientific. A lot of these words also have legality to it as well. So that's why they have this kind of sense of wordplay, right? And so, but minerals, we all need minerals. We get it from food. We get it from even what we drink, pretty much. So my vitamins definitely have this mineral essential for our body, especially for us Black people. Now more so than ever, right? So yes, it does.
All right, fantastic. Let's see. Next up is Brother Byron Washington. Go ahead, Byron. Go ahead, unmute. Ask a question, please.
All right, thank you, France. A peace, Brother Yinka, and also a peace to Mama Bello. Want to commend you. I actually have some
Oh,
of your
excellent.
vitamins here. Yeah, I was on it. I was on it for a while. You know,
Oh
so it's
man,
my first
thank
time actually
you.
seeing the owner. So
Yeah.
yeah, I saw the RBG
Your
flag, so
business.
I knew what I was dealing with. But definitely, one thing I want to say is you doing what you're doing specifically to meet the needs of your people, which is honorable. You know, and you deserve the respect and praise for that, because like the brother was saying, is that we aren't the same as other groups of people groups, even any doctor or healthcare professional will tell you that we can't be treated in medicine the same way that an Asian or a white person be treated, because our needs are different from other people groups. And he's taking that into consideration with how he's putting together his vitamins, you know, for the needs of his people. So much respect and love for that, brother. My question is, with the distributors and people you work with, what effective I guess methods have you found as far as raising the conscious level of our people that you're working with in business to get them to understand the bigger purpose when it comes to a business and finances outside of just personal gain?
So yeah, that's actually a really good question, and thank you for being a wonderful, a loyal customer. You know, I'm really happy to see, you know, to see the bottles with you. I'm always happy when I travel and people tell me, you know what, I love your vitamins. So I'm really happy to just see that, you know, among our people. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So one thing about this distributor program, I don't go to people to be distributors. I don't, it's not for me, for my personal gain. I don't make money off of it, really. You know what I mean? So it's not compared to what in terms of my financial gain, in terms of selling the vitamin. So it's nothing compared to that. So the goal of the distributor program is to kind of bring that wealth into our community. That's the main goal of it. So because of that, the kind of people that choose to be distributor are usually very conscious people already, who are in level of consciousness, who understand that this is what they need to. I've never gone to anybody to do it. I've never, even if somebody might say, you know, I'm interested, and maybe they change their mind, I've never asked them twice, like, are you still interested? That never happened to any of my distributor, because I always need people that already understand what they need to do. And some of us who are, let's say, new to business, who don't understand how business work, I do, you know, mentor people over time so they're confident in themselves. But distributor program relies on you, on whoever decides to be a distributor. Meaning, like, you have to have the drive, you have to put in the work, you have to have the passion to be self-independent, and that's the key. And I've said it before, to basically put food on our own table, especially as African men, right? We have to really know how to learn the foundation of being men, because then we born into a world where it takes away our masculinity. You know, right? We need to be able to feed our children, be able to put clothes on our women, and bring a word of prosperity for our families, right? That's what it means to be men. And I've always preached this. And I think, like, this program essentially is to kind of create that environment where we can feed our families, you know, we can live in prosperity, and understand that being wealthy and having all this abundance is African. It's not African to be in poverty. It's not African to be poor.
Thank
You know, yeah. So our ancestors were never poor. We shouldn't feel bad for having money or having things in abundance. Our ancestors had abundance of everything. God created us in wealth. So we need to kind of reprogram ourselves. And anytime when I talk about anything African, people are automatically associate to struggle. You know, being struggling, being Black in anywhere in the world was imposed on us. It's not natural to struggle every day of our lives. It's not a natural thing. So what this program does is to kind of put us in a position where we are powerful, where we are wealthy, where we have abundance, right? So, but it does take a mind, it does take our work ethic, and we does take family. So we have a group, I do mentor people, we have an excellent family of distributors that do support each other for that to happen.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you as well, man. Thank you. And I hope the vitamins has been treating you well. I hope you've been feeling good. I hope, I hope you're happy with the product.
Yeah, definitely am. Yeah, I actually got on it. I had COVID before I got on to the vitamins. And after that experience, I said, let me make sure I'm up on my immune system and boosting it. And I reference to other people in the group. It's a book by Dr. Lala Africa called Melanin, and it's also talks about these vitamins also and how important it is to Black people. So if you want to know more about what we need as a people to keep our health on line with surviving and living healthy.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, the brother Byron is built like you, brother. Yeah, man, he gets his push-ups in for sure.
Right, you're next. You're next. Next time I want to see you, I want to see some shoulders.
All right, let's go. We're running out of time, so let's get maybe one or two more questions in. So next is Dr. Chelsea Frazier. Go ahead, you can unmute your line and ask a question, please.
Hi, I just want to say thank you so much for everything that you offered today. You also have a new customer in me. I just called my partner.
Oh, thank you.
Got us some good nutrients.
Thank you. I appreciate you
so much. Yes. My question is, I mean, you've been speaking about it just throughout your comments, but I was wondering if you could speak more explicitly to the way your spiritual practices show up in the way that you do business, and how you were able to conceive of your products, and just if you could speak to, you know, whatever you're comfortable sharing about your own, you know, your own spiritual practices or grounding, and how that shows up in your business life and other areas of your life that you feel comfortable sharing.
Okay, sure. Thank you. That's actually a good question, and I appreciate you for being a wonderful customer. I'm looking forward to your review, and I'm sure you're gonna love it. You know, I'm confident. So, but just to get right into the question, I feel like it really started as I was born in a Christian household, right? My mom and dad. We used to go to church like 4 or 5 times a week. You know, she's very. You have to understand, a lot of our families too that in that environment, it was stems from fear. My mother wanted to protect me, so she instilled so much fear in me, right? My family, so like we are born in an environment of fear, especially as young people. So as we grow old, we just surrounded by just like, if you go there, this could happen, right? If you go, so like I just engulfed and just like pray to Jesus, and God will bless you and God will protect you. So it's just fear, and I feel like spirituality is not separate from your conscious thought. Everything's a choice, and the spiritual realm, you're very powerful and works with you in your decisions. If you choose to be fearful, you limit your capabilities of what you can manifest in the real world. And one day I was maybe 14, and I was just curious, and I've always been a curious person. And the pastor always preach about how we are children of God, and I asked the pastor, like, okay, like if we're children of God, does that make us God too? And he was like, no, we're not God, but we're children of God, you know. Like, so I was you know, and he kind of like bashed me for that, but I was just super curious, because if you look at animals, right, if you see a dog will give birth to a dog and barks like a dog by nature. If you see a cat give birth to a cat and meows like a cat. So now, being spiritual is natural to us. We don't need to do any kind of like, we got to really tap into that spirituality. It's in us. So now God is a creator.
If we're a child of God, then you're God then.
Absolutely. So if God is a cat. Yeah. So I want to go back to the business model, you know, that you mentioned. So a God is what? A God is a producer. A God is in business of what? Production. And if you look at what we are as a race, we are consumer. So we are not even a reflection of God in our actions, because we eat from other groups. They feed us like we're children. A God wants the earth to come forth, it produce water, produce sand, produce earth, produce seed, produce all these things, because it is in its own liking, its own will. So now if you have a will within you and you are a child of God, you produce, because that is your nature. You manifest your thought into reality, right? So I've decided that, okay, if I'm a child of God and I'm the embodiment of God, I will create what is in my mind and what is my spirit and exert it into the world. So when I say exert, you have to exert your will, because that's what God does. God doesn't worry about, okay, the sun is out. The sun is not worried about whether you're gonna get hot or cold, the sun is always the sun, right? So you have to be in a position of fearlessness, and fearfulness takes you away from that spiritual realm. So I'm not saying there's many very spiritual practice or spiritual practice, but I feel like that's the foundation. And if you're fearful, you take yourself away. So you could do whatever you want. But if you're still fearful and you're scared and you're always in a corner, you're scared of what people say, you fear of poverty, you're scared, you fear of like rejection, you fear of loneliness, you would never truly connect to the God self that is within you. So it might be in my component of business, I believe that I wanted to manifest what is in my heart, because I love my people around the world. I hate to see my people in poverty, and I wanted to do something. So I made a decision in my heart fearlessly, and I manifested it. I made a blueprint, I made a plan, and I just have faith that my ancestors support what I'm doing, and they will see me through, and that's just what it was. So I feel like the spiritual path, like you mentioned, starts with just making a choice and being disciplined, and pushing through it, because we're all human beings. And we all get weaknesses. We have days that we doubt ourselves. We have days that, we feel defeated, and that's natural, to feel that way sometimes, but to just keep going. Right. And that's where it is. That's what I think that in itself is spirituality, the betterment of yourself and being closer to who you truly are. And it's a God. And I'll tell people, like, whatever condition you are, you ask yourself, is God in it? Is God poor? God is not poor. So if you're poor, that means that you're not where you're not moving the way, the path of God's level, right? If you're poor, you have to understand that there's a force that's putting in that position. So we always have to kind of create systems of ourselves to take ourselves from that conditions, right? To put ourselves in a position of godlike, because that's essentially what we are. So being God is not just in the sense of saying it has to be an action of the word, right? So I hope that answered your question a little bit.
Love it. Thank you. Thanks so much.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a mic drop, brother. That was good. That was good. All right, thank you, Dr. Chelsea Frazier, for your question. All right, so I think we're going to end the Q&A session right now. And thank you. That was amazing. Thank you, Brother Yinka. And thank you, everyone of our participants that asked a question. And let us bring back our host, Professor. I know she was just loving this, just sitting back and watching her own show. So let's bring her back into the fold. How you doing, Professor Bello? Have you been enjoying everything?
I'm doing absolutely marvelous. The only thing missing is my rocking chair. In this particular case, I could just take my rocking chair and go back and forth and say, all right, Bayyinah, relax. Here is the future coming in. Let it be. And that's, really, thank you, Yinka. That was fabulous.
I appreciate it.
Everyone really enjoyed. See how the brother brought us health, business, spirituality. He didn't break things into parts. He divinely put it all together. And that's the way our knowledge, our traditional knowledge, function. Our life is not different bits and parts of things, but it's a whole. So the divine in us bring us to the spiritual understanding, and then we have our mission, we take hold, we shackled to our divine traditions, and take action in a specific direction to reach our goals fearlessly. And I am so happy. I am so proud. I feel I've been looking at somebody's program. And I love it. And especially when that somebody is the age of my grandchildren. So I see the better tomorrow through the younger ones when they're growing up. And that is a tremendous blessing for each one of us that are witnessing this, and each one of us that will draw the lessons that we must draw to make tomorrow's action better than what we were doing yesterday. And that is our true purpose. Be each day better than the day before. So thank you to all. Thank you to our ancestors. I did not choose the guests today. I will tell you the secret. Yesterday afternoon, all the past month, we've been all involved in Kretapio. And yesterday I realized today is Bayyinah and Friends. So I sent out request, and less than 5 minutes later, I got an answer. Yeah, I'm willing for tomorrow. I said, well, all right. So they chose him. I'm still waiting for the other answers. I haven't even, I got a couple of questions, but nobody has replied positively. Yes, I'm ready. And that's how our brother, my son, my grandson, Olayinka, got to be with us today and to drop this bomb on us. Thank you very much. May each one profit. May each one grow and be tomorrow more fearless, more victorious, more prosperous, healthier, and wiser than we were yesterday. Be blessed. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Bello. Thank you, Brother Olayinka. Thank you, everybody. And I'll put up very quickly Brother Olayinka's contact information so that you can get those vitamins. I know I'm going to log on as soon as this is over and order my set. So everyone, have a great weekend. Be blessed, be protected, and accomplish great things. Peace, everybody.
Peace.
Ashe, ashe.
Did I get my whole tip in there?
This is in the way.
Thank you, family.
Oh, there's Brother Olayinka. I think you dropped out for a second, brother. So thanks again, man. Appreciate you coming on the show. And look forward to trying out your product.
Merci beaucoup. À la prochaine. Ashe Aiyelabowo.
Safety, prosperity.
Prochaine fois. Ok, man.
D'accord. À bientôt.
All right, everybody. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Take care. Bye.
Merci beaucoup.